Guru Paramparam. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate. Ramam Ramesham Bhaje. Ramena Bihata Nishacharachamu. Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Ramannasti Parayanam Parataram. Ramasya Dasosmyaham. Rame Chittalaya Sada Bhavatu Me. Bho Rama Mamuddhara. Samasta Janakalyani. Niratam Karunamayam. Namami Chinmayam Devam. Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha. Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha. Sthirairangai Stuštuvagum Sastanobhihi. Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu. Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravaha. Swasti nः Pusha Vishwavedaha. Swasti nastarksho Arishtanemihi. Swasti no Bruhaspatir Dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. 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 Those who can turn their videos on, please do. I have a screen here. It is nice to see with the videos on. Let us chant first Mundaka, second Khanda, 10th and 11th mantra. Ishtapurtam Manyamana Varishtham. Ishtapurtam Manyamana Varishtham. Nanyat Shreyo Vedayante Pramudhaha. Nakasya Prushthe Te Sukrute Nubhutva. Imam Lokam Heenataram Va Vishanti. Tapas Shraddhe Hyupavasantyaranye. Shanta Vidvamso Bhaikshcharyam Charantah. Suryadvarena Te Virajah Prayanti. Yatramrutasya Purusho Hyavyayatma. The flow of ideas in Mundakopanishad is very sweet and something to notice. This Upanishad is as though telling us at different stages of our spiritual evolution, our Ashraya, the place where we seek support, will be different altars. Stage number 1 is a person seeking Ashraya in Karma. Ashraya in Karma means his solace comes from satisfying his ahankara. Doing good work, but feels happy when doership is noticed, doership is acknowledged. Or experiences, karta or bhokta. When that gets satisfied, that gives him joy. And both of these things are the prompters for karma. kartrutva and bhoktrutva, the stronger it is. That will become the prompter for karma. So his ashraya is in karma. Ashraya means, where does he seek joy? Where does his support come from? He says, I will do my karma, and the joy that I get from it, that is my support. Now, after he does his karmas in whatever way he is doing, with some Bhagwan's grace, he starts thinking differently. Some life experiences teach him that I am not the whole and soul of events that are happening in my life. I am not a chooser, I am a recipient. Whatever results come, I might have worked hard for it, but I cannot demand that I want this particular result. Somebody has given me these results. Even now he is giving me these results. Who is he? He doesn't know. But this much he knows, it cannot be just me and the world. So when it comes to receiving results, he says, I am recipient, not a chooser. A receiver, not a chooser. And while working in this world, he says, I am a contributor, not a controller. 5 people if I have to work with. You see, very quickly he'll come to this understanding. He says, I am only a contributor. How people's minds are, how the resources are, how everything will come together to get something done. Once he starts paying attention to all these facts, he realizes there is some higher power which is overseeing all of this. Now, if I want something here, most importantly, if I want peace of mind, he starts to appreciate the futility, the hollowness of taking ashraya only in karma. So his karma continues, but his ashraya shifts in Bhagavan. Ashraya means support. So when he looks into the future, if he wants something done in his life, if he wants something in his life, he's working hard for it. But if you ask him, who will make this work for you? Who will get this result for you? He doesn't say, my karma will get it for me. He says, the one who will get it for me is Bhagavan. So his ashraya from karma has gone to karma phala data. Ashraya from strong doership started seeing the limitations of it. And his source of joy has become one notch higher, which is coming from remembrance of Bhagavan. That is the second stage of spiritual evolution. That is the 11th mantra, what we saw last time. Until the 10th mantra, Karma Ashraya was pointed out, and the fallacies in Karma Ashraya were pointed out. How it's an unsteady boat. Now 11th mantra is talking about how along with karma, if you do upasana, along with karma, if you develop love for God, that combination will give us the result of karma and peace of mind of upasana. That's a very unique step in our spiritual journey, where directly from Karma Ashraya, person cannot go to Brahma Ashraya. Then 12th mantra will talk about Brahma Ashraya. How this person sees limitations in conditioned existence. In karma and in upasana, in both of them, jivatva is there. Jivatva means I am this conditioned being. I have this body. I have this mind. And he says, no matter what you accomplish through this conditioned body-mind, through karma and upasana, no matter which position it is, that position is also impermanent. That position also has its own limitations. So he says, now I am seeking something different. That which is devoid of conditionings, that state where there is no coming and going, that bliss which is independent, doesn't depend upon external circumstances. Such kind of a joy he is seeking, that becomes the third stage, which is Brahma Ashraya. Karma Ashraya, Bhagavad Ashraya, and Brahma Ashraya. 11th mantra we had seen the meaning based on Bhasya. Instead of recapping that mantra, let us read the Bhasya directly. It will become a recap. All points we have covered, but when we read it, it will be a good recap. Page number 39 in your Gita Press book. But please do keep a bookmark to know where we stopped last time. Ye punaha tad viparitaha jnana yuktaha vanaprasthaha sanyasinascha tapashraddhe hi tapah swa ashrama vihitam karma Shraddha Hiranyagarbhadi Vishaya Vidya Te Tapashraddhe Upavasanti Sevante Aranye Vartamanaha Santah Shantaha Uparata Karanagramaha Vidvamsaha Grahasthascha Jnanapradhanaha Ityarthah Bhaikshcharyam Charantah Parigraha Abhavat Upavasanti Aranye iti sambandhah Suryadvarena Surya Upalakshitena Uttarayanena Patha Te Virajaha Virajasah Kshina Punyapapakarmanah Santah Ityarthah Prayanti Prakarshena Yanti Yatra Yasmin Satyalokadau Amrutah Sahapurushah Prathamajah Hiranyagarbha Hi Avyayatma Avyayasvabhavah Yavat Samsarasthai. Now, having spoken about those people who have only Karma Ashraya, to show a different type of people, different category of sadhakas, this mantra has come. Ye punaha tad viparitaha. Tad means Karma Ashrayi, those people who had Ashraya in karma. Different from them, tad viparitaha. Jnana yuktaha vanaprasthaha. Here jnanam refers to upasana. Jnanam is not Brahma jnanam. Jnanam means knowledge of how to do upasana. Remember the 4 steps we had seen? If mind has to focus, recognizing the need for support. Step number 2, choosing a support which is endorsed in scriptures, which is given in Shastra. Step number 3, In that support, meditating upon Bhagavan, Upasya. Step number 4, excluding all other thoughts. So those who have this knowledge of how to do Upasana and are doing Upasana. The thing about Upasana is, knowledge alone is not sufficient. We have to know and we have to do. Result will not come by knowing how to do Upasana. Result will come by knowing plus doing Upasana. Jnana yuktaha, those who are endowed with lot of devotion in their heart, know how to meditate upon God. Vanaprastaha, if you have to meditate, you need time. Shankaracharya says, those who will have this time is Vanaprasthi. Vanaprasthi literally means one who lives in forest or one who has started towards the forest. Means a contemplative life. He is not having Ashraya in karma. He is having Ashraya in Bhagavan now. Sannyasinascha, it could also include sannyasis who are taking support of Bhagavan and doing these practices. Now, what is the sadhana that they are doing? Tapaha Shraddhe. They are doing tapaha, they are doing Shraddha, or they have Shraddha. What is tapaha? Tapahi swa ashrama vihitam karma. Tapa means based on their stage in life, doing those enjoined duties well. If they are a student, doing student's duty well. Householder, doing householder's duties well. That itself is tapasya. There is no separate tapas needed. Why is that? Because even to do our duties, mind will rebel. And to tame the rebellious mind is tapas. To make it mellow, to make it beautiful. That is tapasya. So small things where this mind is rebelling, if that is my duty, which I am supposed to do, if I am able to do it, work with my mind, through whatever means, every person will have different ways of working with their mind. Some people, you talk to that mind, it will listen and do what you want. For some, you might need some other techniques, some carrots you'll have to give. He says, do whatever. As long as dharma is done well, duties are done well, that itself becomes tapasya. That is their sadhana. What is Shraddha? Shraddha here, Shankaracharya doesn't translate as faith. He says, Hiranyagarbhadi Vishaya Vidya. Hiranyagarbhadi Vishaya means how to meditate upon Hiranyagarbha. How to do Upasana on Hiranyagarbha. That technique is called as Shraddha. So what is their sadhana? Doing their duties and meditating upon God. Apply the same 4 steps. If you have to meditate upon Hiranyagarbha, you need a support. In that support you see Bhagavan. In that support you see Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha loosely translated is God's mind. Consciousness presiding over total mind belongs to whom? Belongs to Ishvara. So that purity, that vastness of Hiranyagarbha, that he meditates upon. When we say God is all-knowing, that is one nature of Hiranyagarbha. What is good for me? My past, present and future. I know only little bit of past, some present I know. But Bhagavan's mind knows past, present and future. On such a mind we meditate. Holding on to a support. You see, this is how my Bhagavan's mind is. Hiranyagarbhadi Upasana. You can also meditate upon how this whole gross universe has emerged from Hiranyagarbha. So different facets of Hiranyagarbha, once we understand, once we study, when we meditate, we should bring all those facets. So in Vedanta Sara, we have seen about Hiranyagarbha. Ishavasya Upanishad, we have seen about Hiranyagarbha in the Upasana portion. So if you go back to those mantras, you will notice different definitions given of Hiranyagarbha, elaboration given. So all of that we can bring back in deepening our devotion to God. What does all-knowing mean? If I say God is all-knowing, how does that connect with my life? When I say God is all-powerful, how does that connect with my life? If I want something, the one who has the power to give it to me is Bhagavan. Or some Leela in which he has shown power. That is also part of Upasana. He meditates upon that, holding on to this support. That is Shraddha. Hiranyagarbhadi Vishaya Vidya Te Tapas Shraddhe Upavasanti. Where do they stay? Upavasanti means they say, Sevante Aranye Vartamanaha Santaha. Means they live or they like solitary life. Meaning that is an indication that their mind has become non-bothering. If mind is turbulent, then solitude is very difficult. At the same time, it is not getting turned off from the world and say, leave me alone. It is not that solitude they are talking about. This mind is a beautiful mind which is able to do upasana, think of Bhagavan. For that, it cannot afford to be too much engaged in this world, have too much desire, too many desires. That kind of solitude is called as Aranya Upavasanti. They stay in the forest. So if not for long duration of time, or if not in a particular place somewhere, at least in our daily routine, we should try to bring this solitude, where we are not available to the world, appointment exclusively with Bhagavan. What we call as our sadhana time, that is this. Again, we should always remember, devotee's life is always sweet. In the name of solitude, if it brings some bitterness, some friction, that means we have to think differently. Solitude also has to be practiced such that overall life remains sweet. It is not some kind of cutting off from the world, running away from the world. But at the same time, not engaging in such a way that we don't get time for higher contemplation. That's why they say early morning time is the best. When nobody is awake, do whatever you have to do and then be available. Shantaha. All the words of Upanishad, Shankaracharya is giving precise meanings. Shantaha means Uparata Karana Gramaha. Karana includes, Karana means instrument. Gramaha means group of instruments. All those instruments, they have become quiet. So sense organs, organs of perception, that is one group of instruments. So in front of every sense organ, that sense object doesn't pull his sense organ there. If eyes want to see something, that is the agitation in sense organ of the eye. If ears want to hear something, tongue wants to taste something, all of that is Ashanta Karana. Ashanta means agitated sense organ. In his case, Uparata Karana Grama. All sense organs are non-demanding. Something comes is good, something doesn't come is also okay. So organs of perception, organs of action, If they are peaceful, mind has to be peaceful. Mind by itself is a calm lake, Manasa Sarovar it is. But sometimes we don't like a calm lake. We like skipping rocks there. So that skipping rock part is erroneous perception. Either our perception from the world will agitate the mind, what we are reading, what we are hearing, or it will be our interaction with the world. Karmendriya means what? Through my speech I am interacting. Through my hands I am interacting. Through my legs I am interacting. So Karmendriya Vyapara, if it is not done correctly, my response to the world is not correct, that is sufficient to agitate the mind. The most important sense organ when it comes to organ of action is speech. And they say most important sense organ when it comes to organ of perception is taste. In Bhagavatam there is a line, you master your taste, you master everything. Jitaha rasam, jitaha sarvam. One who masters speech, one who masters taste, masters everything. One who masters speech, that becomes his main sadhana for peaceful mind. That is the meaning of Shantaha. This was not given for Karma Ashrayi. One who had Ashraya in Karma, he had so many other benefits. You go to Swarga, you go to Ehi, lot of praise is there. But nowhere it was said, he will experience this Shanti, experience this peace. Enviable peace this is for a Karma Ashrayi. The one who has Ashraya in Bhagavan, he is joy and peace. Looking at that, the person who has Ashraya in Karma feels, this is what I want. Somebody like Vasishtha Maharshi and the competitor Vishwamitra Rishi. He says, I'm doing all my sadhanas, doing everything, but time and again I get angry. There is no peace. And here is somebody who is so peaceful. I want that. Or we had seen the example of Avadhuta. One who is calmly sitting. You see, there is a forest fire, in that there is a lake, in that there is a small rock. On that you are sitting. Tell me what is your secret. Then he says, I have 24 gurus. That is this person. Shantaha Uparata Karna Gramaha. If you notice in Avadhuta Upakhyana, Avadhuta's teaching, directly he is not talking about Brahma Vidya. He is not talking about abidance in Brahman. Day-to-day things he is telling. He says there was a lady who was wearing 2 bangles and making roti. Made sound, she took out 1 bangle. No sound was there. Only that much he saw, and he learnt whenever there is duality, whenever there is notion of I am different, you are different, there is some friction. And the moment we see some oneness in everybody, then there is joy. There is no sound. That is this Shantaha Uparata Karana Gramaha. True knowledge is that which quietens our mind. Then the word comes Vidvamsaha. I hope all of you are marking which words from Upanishads we are seeing now. That is your homework. Find the Upanishad word in Bhasya. Okay. How many words we have seen so far? Ye Tapashraddhe Upavasanti Aranye Shantaha. Okay. Now we are seeing the word Vidvamsaha. If you have a highlighter, just highlight those words which are from Bhasya, which are coming in the mantra. And later on when you look at it, it will open up very quickly. You will know which word is explained in which part of Bhasya, and you can understand that easily. Who is Vidvamsaha? Shankaracharya says, previously I mentioned only about Vanaprasthi and Sannyasi. What about Grahastha-ashrami? So he says, Vidvamsa means Grahasthascha. Those who are in household life, they are also indicated by this word Vidvamsaha. But what is the uniqueness of this Grahastha? Because the previous person also could be a Grahastha, Karmi. One who was only taking support in karma, that person was also could be Grahastha. What is special about this one? Jnana Pradhanaha. If you ask priorities in his life, his topmost priority, main priority is Bhagavan. Jnana here refers to, what does Jnana refer to here? Upasana only. Because this mantra is talking about Upasana, it will not suddenly bring Brahma Vidya. Jnana Pradhanaha means Upasana Pradhanaha. If you want closer word for Upasana, you say Bhakti Pradhanaha. How is this Grahastha? His whole day revolves around Bhagavan. Jnana Pradhanaha ityartha. Bhaikshacharyam charantaha. Now they are moving around asking for bhiksha. Now how will you translate that? If you say Grahastha is Vidvamsaha, you say bhiksha is not enjoined for Grahastha-ashrami. So Shankaracharya clarifies, Bhaikshacharyam charantaha means parigraha abhavat upavasanti aranye iti sambandhaha. This injunction goes with the previous category, Vanaprasthis. How are they seeking bhiksha? They are seeking bhiksha by not keeping more than what they need. Bhaikshacharyaam charanta doesn't mean asking for bhiksha outside. Primarily here it means non-hoarding. Whatever is needed, he keeps. Out of insecurity, he does not keep more than what he needs. What is the downside of keeping more than what we need? Internet has bandwidth, right? More people tune to it, less is the speed. Like that, we have mental bandwidth. How much percentage of our mind is occupied by what? It will decide how much percentage of our mind is available. So if Sangraha is more, keeping more than what he needs, less is the percentage of mind available for God. And his surrender also will increase when his hoarding goes down. Because he says, Yogakshema, he is going to take care. Why should I get overly concerned? So that is why this is important for somebody who is a bhakta. Devotee and hoarding, both cannot go together. And Shankaracharya is very practical. He says, whatever is needed, that much he keeps. He is not giving the extreme example. Avadhuta. He is not saying that. He is just saying, don't be insecure. Parigraha bhavat upavasanti aranye. Okay, so now until here, Virajaha word is there, but until here, two topics are covered. Sadhana of this person and personality of this person. Okay, what are the sadhanas? Tapas Shraddhe, Bhaikshacharyaam Charantaha, and Virajaha. Virajaha means devoid of negative tendencies. And what is his personality like? Loves solitude. Upavasanti aranye, and he is Shantaha, very quiet. Both you can club together. Sadhana, personality, they are not like two different categories. It's just to help us understand. Somebody might say solitude is also sadhana. Bhaikshacharyam charanta is also sadhana. That is true. So you can take both together, sadhana and personality. Now, what is the result? That was the third topic, right? If somebody lives a pious life, what is the result of their pious life? Surya dwarena, Surya upalakshitena, uttarayanena pathaha, te virajaha. Means they depart from this world through the bright path, uttarayana marga. Meaning that path which has greater joys. Wherever there is darkness, there is greater tendency to commit a mistake. There is a greater tendency or a chance to trip. Bright path, less chances. That is their path. Uttarayana marga. Virajaha. Who are they? Ones from whom Raja has been removed. Raja means tendency to commit something wrong. The other side of it is their vasana pressure has gone down. Simple words, it means that. When does a person commit something wrong? In spite of being told, don't do it. When the inner desire is very powerful. In spite of external rules being there, external do's and don'ts being there in Shastra. He says still he might end up committing something wrong because that inner push was very strong. This is what our Duryodhana says, right? Janami dharmam nachame pravrittihi. I know what is dharma, I don't feel like doing it. Janami adharmam nachame nivrittihi. I know what is wrong, but I am unable to give it up. It's an honest confession of any sadhaka's mind. But through his devotion to God, what has happened there is he has become virajaha. That tendency has gone down. Prayanti, prakarshena yanti, means his journey is very distinct and beautiful. Yasmin, where does he go? He goes there where yatra yasmin satyalokadau amrutaha. In Satyaloka, where this eternal Amruta Purusha, who is Amruta Purusha? Prathamajaha, the one who is firstborn. Who is firstborn? Hiranyagarbha, Brahmaji's world. Hiranyagarbha, he, Avyaya Atma, the one whose nature is Avyaya, one who is immutable. Avyaya Swabhavaha, Yavat Samsara Sthai. Why is he called Avyaya Atma? Because Hiranyagarbha remains until Pralaya. All other human beings here, the lifespan is 100 years or whatever lifespan. Again they have to take birth, again they die, again they take birth. And other beings, other creatures, if you see, it is even shorter. The moth, sometimes if you see, when there are lamps put, continuously they go and perish. So compared to all these life forms, Hiranyagarbha is sthai, eternal. But Shankaracharya clarifies, this is not absolute eternity. It is not like consciousness, which is eternal. Compared to human beings and other life forms, it is relatively eternal. Samsara sthai. Let us continue. Etad antaha tu samsaragatayah aparavidya gamyaha nanu etam moksham icchanti kechit na iha eva sarve praviliyanti kamaha te sarvagam sarvatah prapya dhiraha yuktatmanah sarvam eva आविशन्ति इत्यादि श्रुतिभ्यः अप्रकरणाच्च अपरविद्याप्रकरणे हि प्रवृत्ते न हि अकस्मात् मोक्षप्रसंगः अस्ति विरजस्त्वं तु आपेक्षिकं समस्तं अपरविद्याकार्यं साध्यसाधनलक्षणं क्रियाकारक फलभेदभिन्नं द्वैतम् एतावत् एव यत् हिरण्यगर्भप्राप्ति अवसानं तथा च मनुना उक्तं स्थावराद्यां संसार गतिम् अनुक्रामता ब्रह्मा विश्वसृजो धर्मो महानव्यक्तमेव च उत्तमां सात्विकीमेतां गतिमाहुर्मनीषिणः इति. Now, Shankaracharya says, we started with result of karma, nature of karma, result of karma. Person was called Karma Ashrayi. Then we discussed nature of karma plus upasana and result of karma plus upasana, all the way until Brahmaloka Prapti. Person was called Bhagavad Ashrayi or Upasana Ashrayi, one who has support, one who takes support in Upasana in Bhagavan. He says, going to some loka, going to even Swarga, etad antaha. Antaha means destinations. Swarga, Brahmaloka, all these destinations, they are all within Maya. Samsara gatayah. They are great destinations, no doubt. But that destination is within three gunas. No matter which destination you have gone, the triad, experiencer, experience, experienced, that triad is kept. If experiencer is there, it says that finitude of experiencer in some way will remain. Although through Upasana he has increased it. Upasana means you are increasing the identification. But still, as long as conditionings are real, that conditioned existence is some form of bondage. It might be limited conditioning, which is greater bondage, or it might be the most exalted conditioning, purified conditioning, which has lowered his bondage. But still there is no total freedom from bondage. So compared to Karma Ashrayi, Upasana Ashrayi is greater, very great in fact. But is that the end, or are there few people who will seek something further also? Is there something for those who still are not content with these two steps? So Shankaracharya says, Samsara gatayah aparavidya gamyaha. The destinations gained through karma and upasana, they fall under the category of aparavidya. Now, this should give us a lot of clarity. What we discussed in the beginning, that there are two types of knowledge. One is lower knowledge, another is higher knowledge. Lower knowledge is called aparavidya, higher knowledge is called paravidya. And lower knowledge, what was given? Rugvedo, Yajurvedaha, Samavedo, Atharvavedaha. All Vedangas were included. Shiksha, Kalpo, Vyakaranam. All of that was called as Aparavidya. How does it connect now? The one who does Aparavidya Anushtanam, means he does Karma and Upasana, that person goes to better destinations. But those destinations are within Maya. Think of it this way. There is Brahman, which is devoid of any conditionings, any Maya. And there is Maya. Okay. Although it is unreal, it is not having equal degree of reality as Brahman. When you say snake plus rope or rope plus snake, illusory snake, that illusory snake doesn't have equal reality as rope. Similarly, when we say Brahman plus Maya, it is not same degree of reality. But in any case, there are two things, Brahman and Maya. Our Upanishads ask us, what is your Varanam? What do you want as goal of your life? If I say anything other than Brahman, what am I really asking for? There are only two things, okay? One Brahman, another Maya. There is no third thing, right? Brahman, Maya, which has three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And it will bind in different ways. Now, if somebody asks me, what is your goal? I say anything other than Brahman. What am I really asking? Maya. In spite of knowing that Maya has these limitations, it has this bondage. That's what Bhagavan is telling here. There are few people whose choice will be exclusively Brahman. Not any loka, not any position, any destination here or hereafter. Aparavidya kamya. Nanu etam moksham icchanti kechit. Icchanti here means consider. But some people consider going to some loka itself is moksha. Because this mantra also says, right? Purushaha hi avyayatma, amrutaha. It is eternal. Why can't we call this alone as moksha? Going to some loka. No, Bhagavan gives very precise meanings. He says, there are several Upanishadic quotations which say, liberation is here and now. Iha eva sarve praviliyanti kamaha. In that person who is enlightened, in that person from whom ignorance is removed about his own true nature, desires leave him and go away. Yes, that is moksha. In sadhana phase, he tried to keep desires away. Now, whatever lingering desires were there, because of the brilliance of his knowledge, brilliance of his abidance, they say, we are not going to get anything here. And they walk away. He says, that is moksha. Meaning what? He has not gone somewhere to be liberated. Right here he gained knowledge. That was liberation. Then, te sarvagam sarvataha prapya dhiraha atmanaha sarvam eva avishanti. When they understand the oneness of the self with God, when they know themselves to be the all-pervading consciousness, why does that person need to go to a particular loka in that infinite creation? There are Upanishad mantras. I mean, this mantra is from Mundaka only. Third Mundaka, second Khanda, fifth mantra. 3 to 5. Result of Brahma Vidya is given. When they identify themselves or understand that I am that infinite consciousness, I am that consciousness in which this whole creation is appearing. All Brahmandas are appearing. They will not seek to go to a particular loka in that Brahmanda. So when such quotations are there, we should know which moksha is the later step. So Karma Ashraya, Upasana Ashraya, and Brahma Ashraya. In Brahma Ashraya, there is no going and coming to any loka. Okay, Moksham Ichanti, then all these quotations were given. Ityadi Shrutibhya. All these Upanishadic quotations are telling us that liberation is here and now. There is no going to any loka. Then second he says, Aprakaranacha. The topic under discussion is not Brahma Vidya. What were we discussing before? Karma and limitations of karma. What are we discussing now? This is we are discussing Upasana. You can't suddenly say this is Kaivalya Moksha. What was the Purva Pakshi? He said this mantra is talking about the final moksha, which is Advaita Vedanta Moksha, non-dual moksha. That is what this mantra is referring to. Shankaracharya says no, Aprakaranacha. The topic is not of Brahma Vidya, topic is of Upasana. Pravrutte avidya aparavidya prakarane hi pravrutte nahi akasmat moksha prasanga asti. When we are discussing about aparavidya, lower knowledge, suddenly Kaivalya moksha, absolute moksha will not be discussed. That is why this is not part of that. Virajastvam tu apekshikam, what was called as Virajaha. See, Virajaha means their mind has gotten purified. Apekshikam means it is relative. Ignorance is still not gone. Ignorance of the fact that I am infinite consciousness. I don't have anything to do with these conditionings. I am unattached with these conditionings, body, mind, even vasanas. That Virajatva has not come yet. Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute Arjuna. Real Virajatva can come only through the fire of knowledge, where this person understands, I am that pure consciousness untouched by any impurity. As pure consciousness, I am untouched. The traditional example if given is Japa Kusuma, hibiscus flower kept next to a crystal. Now if somebody feels, oh, that crystal has become red, and he starts cleaning it, polishing it, he says, now it's better. But still it is little red, it is better. When will he come to know truly what is the nature of crystal? When he keeps that flower away and sees that this crystal was colorless to begin with. So here also that crystal refers to consciousness and color refers to impurities. So to a great extent, the polishing has to be done. Only to come and understand that as consciousness I was ever pure. Can I understand it with an impure mind? That is also not possible. So step 1 of karma, step 2 of karma plus upasana, both are important. But that alone is not the end goal. If somebody thinks of themselves as a sattvic person, that is sattvic ahankara binding. Somebody thinks as good person. All of that is some finitude. Upanishads want to say you are not a person. You are that infinite consciousness thinking to be a person. So Virajatvam means purity that they have. Shankaracharya says that purity is also relative. True purity is to know I am of the nature of purity. Samastam aparavidya karyam. All of this, samastam means Swarga and Hiranyagarbha loka. Swarga and Brahma loka. Both of these are result of aparavidya only, lower knowledge. Now Shankaracharya says, if somebody tells you, I have a new knowledge to give, you will get a new result out of it. How do you know whether it is Advaita Vedanta or something else? Is there are some checkpoints. If it meets these checkpoints, you can know that it is Advaita Vedanta. First thing in Advaita Vedanta is your goal is not unattained. Goal is ever attained. You have to discover this through knowledge. If somebody says there is a goal somewhere, you have to go and attain it. That is duality, that is not non-duality. So aparavidya karyam will be goal is unattained. You have to go to some loka, there you have to experience something. So sadhya sadhana lakshanam. And second indicator of Advaita Vedanta is the doer is erased. Karta is removed. There is no doer, doing, and the result of doing. In Aparavidya, or to go to some higher loka, there is a doer. He has to do something, karma plus upasana. Then he will get the result. So this triad is called as Kriya Karaka Phala. Kriya means action. Karaka means all the instruments of action, which includes the doer. Sanskrit also, first vibhakti is karta. They are all karakas. So doer is there. And phala, the result which is going to come. All of that is dvaitam. Kriya karaka phala beda bhinnam dvaitam. This is not advaita moksha. Very precise. Whenever any goal is promised as something to be attained, he says that goal is not Brahman. Okay. And if there is effort involved, if ego is kept, karta is kept, that is also not Advaita Vedanta. Etavat eva yadhi Hiranyagarbha prapti avasanam. This destination, the final culmination is Hiranyagarbha prapti of aparavidya. Tathacha manuna uktam sthavarathyam samsaragatim anukramatam. Manu Maharaj has said, all these are great destinations, but they are part of this samsara. What are those destinations? Brahma. Here you can take Brahma as Brahmaji. Vishwashruja. Vishwashruja means other Prajapatis who are there, who bring about this creation. Dharma. Dharma means Yamaraj. Katopanishad Yamaraj himself says, my position was impermanent. In spite of knowing this, I chose it. Dharma means Yamaha. Mahan means Hiranyagarbha. And avyaktam evacha. Avyaktam evacha means Prakriti Laya. The joy that we get in deep sleep, imagine if we could keep getting that for a long time. That is also one moksha. We saw this in Ishavasya Upanishad. Sambhuti Upasana, Asambhuti Upasana. Asambhuti Upasana was Prakriti Laya, where you meditate upon unmanifest Prakriti and take the mind into Laya. He said that is also part of this samsara. Uttamam Satvikim Etam. These are great, no doubt. But these Gatihi, Gati Mahur Manishina. These gatis also fall under the realm of Maya. Okay, so this mantra was a very nice mantra talking about the second stage in our spiritual journey. Now comes the third Ashraya. What was the third Ashraya? Brahma Ashraya. So, who is this student who will benefit the most from Brahma Vidya, benefit the most from Vedantic study? What are the qualities of that student? If he has the quality, what is his responsibility? What he should be doing? And what are the qualities of teacher of this knowledge? It's a very oft quoted mantra. We will see in the next session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Hari Om, everyone. One of the advantage of Bhasya is you get time to do mananam. It adjusts our pace in such a way that on every mantra we can get a good hold. But all it demands is we have to go back and revise at least once. Okay, before each class, please do spend